The bus rattled along a winding road, cutting through the golden hills of Pennsylvania. The crisp scent of autumn filled the air, leaves swirling in the gentle breeze. John Carter, a Vietnam veteran in his late 70s, sat by the window, his fingers tracing the worn insignia on his old military jacket. It had been over 40 years since he left this town. He told himself he would never return, and yet here he was, watching the familiar scenery pass by, his heart heavy with memories. As the bus pulled into the small town square, John stepped off, his cane tapping against the pavement. The town had changed. Modern coffee shops replaced the old diner. The general store looked smaller than he remembered. Time had moved forward, but had anyone remembered him? The streets felt familiar, yet distant. Every step echoed with memories of a time long gone. He passed by the alley where he and his friends played stickball, the park where he had his first kiss. But his destination was clear: his childhood home, the place he once called his own. And when he saw it, his heart sank. The house stood still, frozen in time, but withered by years of neglect. The paint had peeled, the windows were coated in dust. The porch sagged, as if weighed down by the absence of those who once lived there. This was once his sanctuary, but now it was a relic of a life he had abandoned. The door creaked open, revealing a world untouched by time. The scent of dust and old wood filled his lungs. The rocking chair where his father once sat remained in its place. The table where his mother served home-cooked meals stood empty. Memories clung to the walls, silent and waiting for him. On the fireplace mantel, a photograph stood among the dust. A younger version of himself, in uniform, smiling awkwardly between his parents. He hadn't written. He hadn't called. When the war ended, he never came back. Guilt weighed on him like a burden he could never put down. His hands trembled as he reached into his coat pocket, pulling out a faded letterone he had written decades ago but never sent. Dear Mom and Dad, I'm sorry I never came home. I thought if I stayed away long enough I could forget, but I never did. I hope you can forgive me. His voice cracked as he whispered the words aloud. The silence of the house swallowed them whole. Too late for apologies, too late to change the past. But for the first time in his life he had spoken them. He placed the letter beside the photograph, then stood at the doorway. He looked around one last time, tipping his worn-out veteran's cap in silent farewell. For decades, he had carried the weight of this home on his shoulders. Now, he could finally let it go. As John walked away, he heard laughter, children running past, their voices filled with life. The world had not stopped. Life had moved forward, and for the first time in years, he allowed himself a small smile. He had finally come home, and this time, he could truly leave. And this brings us to the end of this story. If you enjoyed this heartfelt journey, don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories. See you in the next one.